All right, let's talk about something a little weird. It's that nagging feeling of guilt you get for doing something that you know isn't actually wrong, but it just feels like it is. You know what I'm talking about? It's like this little ghost in our modern conscience, and today, we're finally gonna give it a name.
So picture this. It's late, you're finally trying to just unwind, but there's your phone, glowing with a message from a friend. And you don't have the energy to reply right now. It's a tiny act of self-preservation, right? But almost immediately this wave of guilt just washes over you. Why? Why does such a small act of setting a boundary feel like such a huge crime?
You know, that little moment of hesitation, it's not nothing. It's actually a full-blown psychological battleground. On one side, you have your genuine need for autonomy and just a little bit of peace. And on the other, there's this mysterious, heavy sense of obligation that whispers, hey, you've done something wrong. This quiet little conflict, it's playing out inside millions of us every single day.
Okay, so to really understand this feeling, this ghost in our conscience, we've got to figure out where it's coming from. Let's start by looking at the voices inside our own heads that are kind of setting the stage for this whole drama.
So Sigmund Freud actually had a name for this internal critic, the superego. The easiest way to think of it is like a mental recording of every you should and you must not you have ever absorbed in your entire life. It's the voice of your parents, your teachers, any authority figure, just constantly watching and ready to hit you with a jolt of guilt the second you step out of line.
And that brings us to the core concept here today, echo guilt. See, this isn't guilt for something you're actually doing wrong in the present moment. No. It's the reverberation of old, outdated rules from past authorities, your parents, your culture, that are haunting your choices today. It is literally a ghost from the rules of yesterday.
And listen, this distinction is absolutely critical. Authentic guilt, that's your moral compass. It's helpful. It tells you when you violated your own current values. But echo guilt, that's just an outdated alarm system. It's like a smoke detector that goes off every time you make toast. It's an automatic conditioned response to breaking a rule you might not even believe in anymore. One is a guide, the other is just noise.
So where do these echoes even come from? Well, they grow from some pretty deep roots. Maybe you grew up in a house where taking a break was treated like the ultimate sin. It was just laziness. And now, as an adult, you feel deeply guilty for just relaxing on a Sunday. Or maybe you were taught that challenging authority was rude, so now you get that pang of shame for speaking up in a meeting, even when you know you're right. These old lessons become the seeds of echo guilt.
But here's the thing. This isn't just a problem from our past. Our modern world has basically created a perfect storm, a pressure cooker that takes these old echoes and just cranks the volume up to an unbearable level.
There are three main things turning up the heat. First, what we can call perpetual contact, that feeling that you owe everyone an instant reply. This triggers all those old rules about being polite. Second, the freedom trap. This is the anxiety that with so many choices, you're failing if you aren't maximizing every single second of your life. And third, achievement culture. You know this one, the hustle mindset, where any moment that's not productive feels wasted, which just reactivates that old conditioning where rest equals laziness.
The philosopher Byung-Chul Han just nails the outcome of all this perfectly. In this world, we don't even need an external boss yelling at us anymore. We become our own taskmasters. We internalize the pressure to perform so completely that even necessary healthy rest starts to feel like a moral failure.
And that's the system we put ourselves under, right? A 24/7, constant self-imposed responsibility to improve, to achieve, to respond, to perform. We're expected to optimize everything, from our careers to our sleep. I mean, this isn't freedom. It's a form of self-exploitation, and it is the perfect breeding ground for echo guilt to thrive. So what do? Is the only answer to just live in this constant state of rebellion and guilt? Absolutely not. The goal isn't just to defy the echoes. It's to transform them, to turn this confusing noise into a useful guide for building a more authentic life. Okay, so here's a 4-step path forward. First, recognize it. Just naming the feeling, this is echo guilt, not real guilt. That simple act separates you from it and takes away its power. Second, question it. Get curious. Ask yourself, whose voice is this really? Where did I learn this rule? Does it even serve me anymore? Third, and this is the most important one, find your why. Move beyond just knowing what you're against and start defining what you are truly for. This replaces the old rules with a positive purpose. And finally, rewrite. You have to consciously give yourself permission to live by a new code, one that is truly your own.
And that right there, that is the ultimate shift. Real freedom isn't just about negation. It's not a life spent just saying no to old rules. It's about conviction. It's about discovering what you want to say a big yes to, and then actively building a life around that purpose.
So, the next time you feel that strange, unearned pang of guilt, I'm just going to leave you with one question to ask yourself. Whose voice is this, really? Is it just an echo from a past you've already outgrown? Or is it an authentic guide pointing you toward the future you actually want? Learning to tell the difference? That's where your freedom begins.